I really enjoyed Until Dawn. As someone who did a lot of ballet as a kid, I really appreciate it, and I really appreciate the humanity that a lot of those interviews brought to dancers because um, I think the art of ballet specifically is thought to be very like rigid and not fun, and like these are, they're still people and they're still very interesting, and it's really nice to hear their thoughts about dance and art and life, and just show their stories and show the art of dance and what goes into it, because it really is so much. So it was really beautiful to see that on screen, and I really appreciated that. I think it was a really beautiful story, and it was pieced together very well, very beautifully, and made just a really amazing, cohesive documentary. It was really lovely. It was really beautiful to watch and very well done.
This reviews for Until Dawn, Hasta el Alba. This is a very high quality film. They have beautiful and detailed recount. They give a beautiful and detailed recount of the creative process, the production that entails the putting together of this Giselle choreography at the National Ballet in Spain. It is visually appealing from the beginning, with the excerpts reading from this story at the scenes at the National Library building in Spain, and scenes also from the actual productions where the different dancers currently showcase their talents all over the world. And I learned a lot about ballet from the testimonials of directors, choreographers, dancers. I learned about the ballet master's position, the orchestra musicians, and the staff around the stage that make things happen. Also learning from all the different dancers coming to the Teatro de la Zarzuela from companies in different cities that they had to move away from their original country and make a name outside. And it's that was a kind of a sad nostalgic part to listen to, but it was quite emotional to hear them talk about the importance of coming back to their countryland and dance at this very important company. Also, this was all through the pandemic. I loved how ballet provides an accuracy of movement. One of the dancers said that's not necessarily perfection, but it looks like it's perfect, and they make it look as it is so easy. I love the costume design, particularly for Giselle. And then we have this story where we partake uh, at the ultimate love sacrifice. And we also see this paradisum piece that's so original, so it feels so organic. I loved it. I loved even it was short. I got to see the same dancers in a totally different aspect or style, and that was very insightful as well. And finally, we have Joaquin's magnificent closing piece, which was a delight. So I'm so glad this was amazing.
Until Down, I loved so many different parts of this and so many different aspects that they incorporated, that I thought they did incredibly well, and I just found really, really fascinating. Um, in general, I think it's really interesting when you have the opportunity to peel back the curtain, especially for live performances. Because I think everybody likes, you know, film and television and, you know, learning about the behind the scenes stuff. I think in general people enjoy learning like how it's made or how it's put together, how it runs, things like that. I think as humans, as a society, is something that everybody is kind of interested in. But I really haven't, I wouldn't say obsession, that's too strong, but a really like healthy curiosity and appreciation, especially for live performances. So shows, concerts, ballets, I think are so interesting because you prepare and you have all of these different moving parts and all these different components, and it all comes together for this one moment, this one night, this one performance, this one show. And if something goes wrong in the moment, you just have to roll with it and keep pushing forward and see if you can make it as seamless as possible. And I think that concept alone, that you could work so hard for so many months and have all of these different things together. You have music, you have costumes, you have stages and props moving in and out, and changes in people backstage, and lighting and effects, and all of, like I said, all of these different components going on. And if any one part of the doesn't work seamlessly with everything else, then, you know, at least for that performance, you know, who knows how, you know, it can turn out. So I think it all, for me personally, I really love watching, especially behind the scenes stuff, for how it gets there, like the creative process, for example, of live performances especially. So I think this did such a good job of really taking you through the journey of different like dancers' perspectives, the director, the, you know, the choreographer, like all of these different people, and you got to hear them talk and hear them talk about their journey and what the show meant to them. And I really loved it. I thought it was really fantastic. I think the footage that they were able to get from multiple different shows and how they wove it together was so beautiful and so intriguing to watch. And then intercutting it with her kind of telling the story of Giselle with these different dancers in these like different places as you're going through the film, I thought was so creative and so fun to weave that in through the entire film. I really loved it. I thought it was well done. I thought you really learned about ballet and ballet culture and what it means to these dancers, and, you know, the sacrifices and how much effort and work it takes to put on a show. I really liked it.
I thought that this was a really beautiful documentary. It was really great to hear the dancers' perspective and what it meant for them to be dancing around the world and then returning home for their performance. I think the beauty of this documentary is that it manages to tell the story of everyone involved in putting on the ballet from a career perspective and showing their passion as artists. And it also gives really beautiful and creative glimpses of the ballet that they're putting on. I especially enjoyed the reading scenes. Those were just amazing, and now I kind of want to watch that ballet because I've never seen it before. So overall, a really enjoyable documentary, great for anyone who enjoys the performing arts or getting a behind-the-scenes look at how performances are created and put together.
This was such a beautiful documentary. It was so fascinating, and as someone who has always appreciated ballet but never known all about it, I was just awestruck, and it was so compelling, and I learned so much, and everything about it was beautifully done, and clearly a lot of thought was put into it. The cinematography and the shots were amazing, and they really highlighted and emphasized how brilliant the dancers were, especially the way that the sequences were cut and edited together. It was so seamless, and just were brilliant breaks between the interviews that happened. I loved getting to know each dancer individually and what this ballet means to them and their careers, and how ballet as an art form and, you know, as a performance has changed their lives. It was amazing to just get to see their individual personality, because then once in the dance, everyone's so uniform and so rigid and perfect in the roles that they play. The readings are also really beautiful and really created such a calming and poignant and poetic tone to this documentary. Everyone should be so proud of themselves. It was really well done.
Hey, my name is Nick Arcero, and I'm commenting on the documentary feature Until Dawn. For someone who isn't really well versed in the world of ballet, I found this absolutely fascinating. First of all, just the footage of the dancing itself was unbelievable. The cinematography was amazing. All of the artistic decisions as to where to shoot from, how to cut the dance sequences together, I thought it was all just absolutely brilliant and really brought Giselle to life in a way that documentaries don't really tend to do. I also thought it was just fascinating to hear about how each member of the company sort of imbued different parts of themselves into the performance and into the creative process of bringing the show together. It was just absolutely illuminating to hear what the production and what the performances really seemed to mean to each individual person, and to hear, how it really affected and permeated their lives. If there's anything I think could be improved on, I would say it initially felt a little unfocused, and I wasn't quite sure what the documentary was going to be about. Obviously, that resolves itself fairly quickly, but, for the first 10 minutes or so, I wasn't 100% sure what I was supposed to be getting out of it, but that didn't keep me from enjoying it and being interested in it at all. I thought this was really, really remarkable.
Until Dawn was such an incredible watch. Like, the first thing that came to my mind when I completed it was just how precise each frame and each scene was. I think the dance scenes were picked so well, and the story that was being told and each interview and each dance scene all fit so beautifully together that the entire film just flowed so wonderfully. And I mean, considering that this entire film was around ballet, the flow and the speed of the film itself almost felt very rhythmic and dance-like, which I thought was such an interesting and well done way to make this film. I also just appreciated how the filmmaker was able to get so much into this small film, from highlighting different voices and showing how ballet has impacted this community, but then also highlighting how they're working with the next generation. And, it was very clear that they were all wearing masks, so it was during a time where so much was uncertain, but here these people were so committed to their craft and were willing to work through it, which I think is very important and was incredibly uplifting to watch. So yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed this film, and it's something that I will definitely be passing on to people.